Dakota Johnson hopes the media will leave her and Jamie Dornan alone. The sound of cameras flashing like thunder. Dakota Johnson stepped out of the Los Angeles hotel, wearing a gray robe, her hair tied back, her face half covered by dark glasses. But even if she wanted to hide, she still couldn't escape the reporters' lenses lurking from every corner. Dakota, are you and Jamie getting back together? Was he at your house last night? Dakota, don't you feel sorry for his career? She didn't answer, just lowered her head and walked faster. Voices, engines, screams, all of them combined into a deafening sound, piercing straight into her head. The car door slammed shut. In the dark cabin, Dakota sat panting. She took off her glasses, her eyes tired, looking out the window. Outside, the crowd was still following. A young photographer laughed loudly when he saw her through the lens, as if he had caught a prized prey. The manager sitting next to her turned around. You have to understand, they don't hate you. They just want a story. If you keep quiet, they'll write it themselves. Dakota smiled faintly. And that story will kill us. A few days later, she appeared at the press conference for her new film. The first film she had starred in with Jamie Dornan in many years, a work of art, no sex scenes, no scandals, just two mature actors telling a story about breakups and forgiveness. But the press didn't care about the film. They just wanted to know, what's going on between Dakota and Jamie. When the microphone was passed in front of her, she paused for a moment. Then, in a calm, low voice, she said slowly, I hope the media can let us go. I've been under too much pressure. We're colleagues, people who shared a part of our youth. But that doesn't mean the whole world has the right to dissect our private lives. The room fell silent. Then the camera clicked again, this time more insistently. The words instantly became the headlines of every newspaper, in the storm of rumor. The next morning, the headline appeared on the front page of Hollywood Insider. Dakota Johnson breaks down in tears. I was under too much pressure for Jamie Dornan. Beneath it were hundreds of comments, speculations, memes, even smears. Some sympathized. Some laughed. Jamie called her that night. His voice was hoarse. Are you okay? Okay, at least not in the papers. I'm sorry, maybe I shouldn't have taken this role. Don't say that. We both know this movie is important to us. The silence stretched on the line. Dakota heard his sigh, mixed with the dull sound of the phone signal. She said softly, they can take everything away. But don't let them make you ashamed of yourself, Jamie. But the pressure didn't stop. A week later, a tabloid published a series of photos of the two of them at dinner. The lens was taken from a distance, the light was dim, but enough to fuel speculation. Dakota Johnson and Jamie Dornan, old flames rekindling. She threw the newspaper down on the table, laughing bitterly. Her manager tried to smooth things over, but things had spiraled out of control. Dakota fled Los Angeles, flying to a small beach in Portugal where she had filmed years before. She turned off her phone, leaving the world behind. In her small house on the cliffside, she wrote in her diary, maybe people don't hate me. They just love the image they've created of me too much. But I'm not that character. I'm just a woman struggling to breathe. Voice in the dark. 3 days later, there was a knock on the door. She opened it. It was Jamie. He stood there in his dark coat, his hair damp with sea dew. How did you know I was here? I guessed. You always come here when things get too noisy. Dakota laughed, a mixture of emotion. She poured him a cup of hot tea, and they sat by the window, looking out at the dark ocean. The papers said I fell for you, she said softly, they wrote worse about you. They said you relied on me to save your career. People always need a villain. They laughed together, but the laughter faded quickly. Jamie looked away, his eyes lost. Have you ever thought that, if we weren't famous, things would be different? Dakota was silent. Then she said, her voice as soft as the wind, if we weren't famous, maybe we could be ourselves. Out at sea, waves crashed against the cliffs. Jamie turned to look at her. In that moment, there was no media, no prejudice. Just two tired people trying to find a peaceful corner in a world that was too noisy. After the night falls, when Dakota returned to Los Angeles, she decided to appear in a live television interview. Not to promote the film, not to justify, just to tell the truth. The host asked, "Do you regret doing the film with Jamie Dornan?" She looked straight into the camera. "No. I regret being silent for so long. Silence allowed others to write the story for me." What do you want to say to the media and the audience? I just want to be myself. I am not a symbol of anyone. I do not need to be idolized or pitied. I just want to live as a normal human being. Flag. To love, to be wrong, to be hurt. The answer silenced the field. After the broadcast, social media exploded. But this time, people weren't talking about the news, they were sharing her advice like a powerful message. A week later, Dakota got a text from Jamie, "They listened to you. I'm proud of you." She smiled, standing by the window looking out at the city. In the distance, the lights flickered, but seemed less bright. She thought, the light never goes out. It just changes direction. And this time, it's referring to what's real. Quote,